Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Crispin, and welcome to our Week 5 midterm exam review. It's hard to believe that we've come this far so quickly in the course with not too much left to go. So uh, this session today will be about preparing for your midterm exam, which is important, and to see just how much you're comprehending and allow you to demonstrate all of that knowledge on this exam. So I prepared a presentation, so let's see if we can get to it. Okay, here's our PowerPoint. And let me do this again. Here we go. All right, so this is the Week 5 midterm exam review. And this represents being midterm in our course, which again means the course has moved very quickly. And all of you have been doing a super job, and thank you for the quality of work that you've been doing on your assignments and also keeping up. And so today's focus is on preparing this week, the week 5 assignment, which is the critical opportunity to demonstrate your understanding of international business concepts. And the emphasis will be on the presentation. This presentation will clarify the assignment requirements and review theories and provide practical tips to excel. And also, you are encouraged to take notes if you'd like, and ask questions either via the presentation today or via email or on the phone, or set an appointment. Anyway, um, thank you all for attending this presentation, and we'll keep marching on. So the assignment overview are as follows. The details are shown here. The importance of the adhering to the word count and ABA formatting material will help maintain professionalism. So the next is also to create credible sources, such as from your textbook, academic journals, or reputable business publications to support your arguments. And also remember, make sure your Turnitin similarity scores are low, which is critical for academic integrity. And also, you may want to start early to manage your research and writing effectively. So this is question 1, and it refers to theoretical foundations of trade. And this is to explain the evolution from Ricardo's theory, which emphasizes comparative cost advantages, to new trade theory, which focuses on scale and differentiation. And also, you are to discuss how M&Es apply these theories. For instance, Ricardo informs cost-driven production decisions, while new trade theory supports branding and market expansion. And a couple of real-world examples are Apple uh, illustrates both theories. It's manufacturing low cost, and which is Ricardo, and premium branding, new trade policy, premium branding, which encompasses new trade policy or new trade theory. So you are to select a specific firm or industry to ground your answers and cite the textbook for clarity. So this is, again, some excellent guide for outlining of question one. And we'll continue with question one here, just again to review or revisit Ricardo versus new trade theory. And again, using Apple as a real world example, which encompasses both. You'll want to choose your own. In question two, talks about cultural intelligence in M&Es. And again, another form of review is to go back and review all of these slide presentations that features each chapter that we went through during the first 4 weeks. And you'll remember on the chapter of cultural intelligence in M&Es, it focuses on cultural intelligence, or CQ, as a tool for M&Es operating globally. And it briefly described how each CQ dimension emphasized their practical relevance for expatriates. And also you may want to highlight key U.S.-Japan cultural differences, such as Japan's emphasis on hierarchy and indirect communications, which can challenge U.S. managers. Toshiba and other Japanese companies in the early 1980s, when they started expanding into the United States, really flustered, and Sony really flustered American managers because of their reluctance to make a decision without first consulting and gaining consensus from all of their senior managers, only to wait until the top CEO would render a decision. And this, plus 3,500 miles of distance from Japan to California, really compounded their US-based subsidiary any opportunity to make timely and quick decisions. Ultimately, this put a stranglehold on Toshiba's ability to advance and grow. Sony finally had to actually hired a US-based person to be their CEO, simply because they needed better decision making and faster. So you may want to recommend actionable steps like tailored teaching and local members to bridge these gaps. You may want to use the textbook CQ framework and real world examples to support your answers, ensuring that they connect recommendations to specific cultural challenges. So all kinds of resource opportunities to put your thoughts together in an academic format in answering this question and others. Question three is political risk in M&E strategy. You know, political risk does have a real bottom line effect, and it can cause additional cost where none was suspected. So understanding political risk is very important across country lines. And you may want to consider defining the 3 types of political risk, using examples to clarify the impact on M&Es, such as trade law, changes for systemic risks. And you may also want to explain that each risk requires tailored corporate strategy. such as engaging with local governments for systemic risks, or securing insurance for catastrophic risks. You also may want to use the textbook risk typology and provide concise definitions to demonstrate understanding, and you also may want to select specific strategies from the text and explain how they mitigate each risk, ensuring clarity and relevance in their responses. And question 4 is global integration versus local responsiveness. This reminds one of the old notion, think globally, act locally. And you may want to consider the 4 M&E structural models, emphasizing their role in balancing global integration and local responsiveness. And you may want to discuss the trade-offs of global efficiency could reduce costs, but it may overlook local needs, while local responsiveness enhances market fit, but it increases complexity. So there are a number of different types of trade-offs there that are worth digging into and explaining further, given your company selected, your M&E selected. You may want to consider Unilever as an example to show how a matrix structure supports both, and encourage you may want to choose a real or hypothetical M&E and provide two clear industry-specific reasons for chosen structures, citing the textbook and ground their arguments, your arguments. So you may want to address trade-offs explicitly in your answers. And finally, in question 5, marketing strategy in emerging markets. This is very critical for M&Es, because this is where much of the growth in the next decade and beyond will come from, are emerging markets. Companies like Coca-Cola and others have benefited greatly from being a part of early emerging market growth in order to establish mature now distribution networks and tapping into all local consumption. So you may want to explain in question 5 and how it focuses on marketing in emerging markets like India, and using the 4 Ps framework. And you may want to highlight the need for specific adaptations, such as smaller packaging to suit India's price-sensitive consumers, or leveraging WhatsApp for digital outreach. And you may want to discuss the standardized versus customized debate, noting that India's diverse culture and income levels often require customization. India has something very interesting, almost a bimodal relationship, where the rich are very rich and the poor are very poor, and the middle is somewhere growing, but not as large as it really needs to be. And so this can create a challenge for marketers. You may want to propose two digital tactics and address one challenge like data privacy with a clear mitigation strategy. And you may also want to suggest or use the textbook that and external data to support your recommendations, ensuring relevance in the Indian market. So finally, some writing and research tips. This, again, this is probably to do more to reinforce what you already know rather than to provide you with something new. But anyway, you may want to structure your answers with a clear introduction, detailed body, and addressing the question part and concise conclusions, and emphasize the importance of using the textbook and primary source is important, while supplemental with credible external references such as journals or, again, reports from reputable sources like Statista or IBIS World and so forth. Also consider referring to the APA 6th or 7th edition. And have your citations and references and maintain a professional and academic paper. Also, this is a good opportunity and recommended that you paraphrase as much as possible and cite to keep Turnitin scores keep Turnitin scores low, ensuring integrity. And some additional study strategies and time management. Again, this is more to validate probably what you're already doing. You may want to consider to prepare by reviewing key textbook chapters that align with the midterm questions, of course, and you may want to focus on understanding core concepts and applying them to the real world examples, like the Apple for trade theories and Unilever for M&E structures. You may want to provide a timeline for managing the assignments and dedicate time for research, drafting, and revision to avoid that last-minute stress. Also, you may want to highlight available resources, such as, again, the library databases to support them and to support your work, and consider starting early and using these strategies to build confidence and to improve your performance. So finally, next steps. The key points we've gone through the first 5 chapters, and this is, again, use the guidance on how long they should be and so forth. And use credible sources, apply textbook concepts, use the CQ framework listed in the textbook for your question 2. Start researching and outlining answers early, schedule time for training and revision, and also time for reflection. You'll be surprised how much more clearer your writing can be when you let it sit for about 24 hours and then go back and review it, you'll see all kinds of opportunities on how to make it clearer and to improve it. So anyway, everyone, this concludes the presentation for this week. And again, if you have any questions or comments, please reach out to me and I'll be sure to address them with you so that you can have the best midterm effort possible and being able to put your best foot forward. Again, you're all doing a great job. Thank you for, again, your timely submissions. And I wish you the best on submitting this midterm assignment. And in the meantime, I'll see you in class. Good night, everybody.